Pav, don't be afraid. The wolf will be scared of you.
The Tale of the Wolf Mountain. Under the shade of a big tree, there was a grandfather who had wrinkles, intelligent eyes, who had been living there for an extended period of time since he was a child. At that time, all the children in the village eagerly gathered around and, with great anticipation, listened to his stories.
Children, do you perhaps want to know, maybe possibly, the reason why the mountain nearby is called the Wolf Mountain?
Yes, we do.
Then I will tell you the story of the history of this Wolf Mountain.
The grandfather began to tell the secrets and history of the Wolf Mountain. Long, long ago, many years ago, there was a loving couple who were very happy together and had 12 kids. Because they were having difficulty raising them, they decided to send their youngest son named Pov to live in the pagoda when he turned 8 years old. After settling in the pagoda, Pov studied hard and worked diligently.
Reciting the alphabet involves saying each letter in order, starting from A and continuing through to Z, ensuring that every letter is pronounced clearly and correctly, from the beginning to the end of the English alphabet.
Every day, Pov would quietly, thoughtfully, and reflectively sit alone under the big tree in the peaceful and serene environment of the pagoda, and he liked to very carefully observe the surroundings. But there was one aspect, however, that he could not understand. No matter how hard he tried, he could not understand. In order to satisfy his curiosity, he went to visit his very wise teacher and asked him,
Teacher, why does our pagoda allow animals such as birds, rabbits, monkeys, deer, and various other insects such as different types of mice, frogs, and lizards to live here? I can observe them crying loudly, flying gracefully, and running swiftly around the beautifully adorned pagoda, which is filled with intricate carvings and vibrant colors.
Oh, Pov, let me see. I think I understand your question now. Our religion teaches us to safeguard and protect the lives of all animals, no matter how big or small, and valuable. That is why we allow them to stay in this pagoda for a little longer. But aren't their habitats perhaps indeed in the forest at the edge of the village, perhaps?
After carefully hearing Pov's question, the monk then replied,
That's absolutely correct. Indeed, that was where they used to live. But one day there was an unexpectedly extremely dangerous and very violent animal who came to live in the mountain. No one knows where it came from. It feeds on the animals in the forest without mercy, fearing that beast. All animals, both big and small, came to find shelter in the pagoda, as you can see here. Moreover, no villagers had the courage to go into the forest to find rubbers or even wood in any way. Because there was a lack of wood and food, the people had to use bamboo to build houses. Teacher, what type of animal is that violently dangerous beast? At first, we initially thought it was possibly a tiger from the north. But one night, during the full moon night, we could faintly hear the sound of distant howling. It absolutely made us shiver. It sounded almost like a wolf's howl echoing through the still night. Because we were afraid that it would come into the village to attack, the villagers took turns leaving chicken or even small pigs at the edge of the forest for the wolf to feed on.
After hearing the story, Pov continued to sit under the tree, hoping that he would really see the light. At that moment, Pov suddenly came up with an idea.
The wolf has never seen humans in the wild. It has only seen other animals such as birds, reptiles, and others. for example, like various species. It would definitely be absolutely surprised to see a human who can mimic all those animals.
One day, when the villagers in the small and peaceful village were discussing who should bring the very important food for the wolf, Pov, who was curious to know the truth about the wolf, volunteered to carefully and safely bring the chicken to the forest for the wolf to feed on. The villagers were absolutely delighted that he volunteered to do it, because they could take a break from that task. But they were indeed also extremely concerned that he would get eaten by the wolf. That night, Pov could not sleep restlessly, but there was a voice in his head that kept whispering persistently to him,
Thinking, Pov, do not be afraid, the wolf will be scared of you.
The voice kept playing in his head until it comforted him to sleep. Very early in the next morning, Pov came to the edge of the forest and tied a chicken to the tree. Then he carefully and quietly hid behind a big stone wall. A moment later, there were sounds of light footsteps walking towards him. Pov came out from behind the wall and walked carefully and stealthily while whistling. Then he started chanting prayers.
The group gathered in a serene setting, softly chanting their prayers in unison, creating a harmonious and peaceful atmosphere that resonated with spiritual energy.
Because of his curiosity, he opened his eyes to see the animal in front of him. Pov was completely and utterly stunned because this was just a normal dog who had no fur and skinny legs, but was not a wolf like he had imagined.
Hey, is it you who caused the fear in this forest? I was so very curious, indeed, truly, honestly, but you are actually just a regular commonplace dog, after all. I'm impressed that you can make all the animals in this forest fear you. But I'm not literally afraid of you. Instead, I pity you that you have to live alone pitifully in this forest. You could only eat the chickens and pigs that we brought here every day. Your life is so sad. Every day is the same, and you don't have any friends around either. Who are you? How dare you say these words to me? My name is Pov. I live in a pagoda where all the animals in this forest ran off to because they feared you. I feel so bad for all of them. They can no longer play, fly, and run freely in the forest that they love, and explore the beautiful and serene landscape of the forest that they cherish deeply. Why did you come to this mountain? I just wanted to know more about this incredibly fascinating and mysterious animal that all the villagers affectionately named the mountain wolf. Well, now you can clearly see me, as you can clearly see. You must return to your pagoda immediately. If not, I will absolutely, without hesitation, kill you. You know what? If I go back to the village and tell everyone that you're just an ordinary, everyday, typical dog, you know what I mean? They will definitely come to kill you. But I don't want you to die. There must be a reason, certainly indeed, why you came to reside in this forest. After all, isn't it? It's really better if you can tell me the truth. Then you can leave this place and I'll tell the villagers that the wolf left for another forest. Why do you really care about me so much? Am I not absolutely a really vicious animal? My teacher taught me the importance of loving animals, emphasizing that they are living beings, deserving of our kindness and respect, and sympathize with the poor and pitiful beings. I truly and undeniably and without question believe that you are absolutely the most pitiful being in this entire world. Am I right, without a doubt? My good and dear child, I will tell you about my beloved and tragic story, an incredible journey of mine which is full of sorrow and heart.
The poor dog started narrating to Pov about his story in great detail. In the beginning, he was just a normal village dog. But his owner thought that he was indeed very skinny, weak, and also too fragile, and not strong enough to guard the house. Every day the owner would physically abuse the dog without mercy. Moreover, he gave the dog bitter and tasteless food every day, hoping that it would become a strong dog to guard the house in case of any robbery. Because the dog could not stand this misery, it wanted to take revenge with a vengeance and leave the house and find a new home where there are fresh meat to eat. One day, when the owner was unexpectedly and quietly coming with a stick, it jumped and bit the owner.
Ouch, you filthy dog! I indeed raised and fed you and you dare bite me!
The dog took the chance to run away without hesitation when the owner was in distress in a moment of panic. The dog continued to tell his story.
I ran away desperately without food, water, or rest for absolutely 3 days. Finally, I truly and completely felt freedom. I felt like I was absolutely and utterly not afraid of anything at all. I still have grudges against humans. Nothing could absolutely stop me at all in the entire world. But indeed, all the animals you killed are absolutely, undeniably, truly innocent, without a doubt, certainly. What about me? When I was with my owner, indeed, in the past, was I not truly, actually innocent? I wish for nothing but to find happiness in every part of my life and to be known as a good, obedient dog who brings joy to those around me. But unfortunately, indeed, my owner is the one who made me into a ferocious and aggressive animal like this.
Pov heard this and felt very sorry and deeply concerned for the dog. He comforted the dogs with gentle words.
All animals are innocent beings who just want to live in peace with their friends.
Pov gently persuaded the dog to stay and live with him in the pagoda.
Oh, poor dog. If you indeed agree to be a truly normal, kind and clever village dog, you will be forgiven and be given enough food. And you will have the freedom to play with the kids and other dogs in the village.
The dog sat still, literally after hearing Pov's words, and his eyes filled with tears. Pov very gently and softly wiped away the dog's tears and patted and caressed the dog, just like how a mother would comfort her baby. Ultimately, in the end, the dog consented to Pov's request, and they lived happily ever after.
Because of this history, they named it the Wolf Mountain. That poor, lonely and sad dog. That's right, my child. The dog and other animals, such as deer and other creatures in this vast and mysterious forest, are indeed quite pitiful. If some people truly and genuinely indeed have sympathy for these innocent and helpless animals, then, unfortunately, a truly heartbreaking story like this wouldn't have happened. So all of you truly have to love and genuinely have deep sympathy for the animals. And especially, we have to protect the endangered species of animals. We must not seek to kill them under any circumstances.
Grandfather? So, dear grandfather, who exactly is Pov? Can you tell me? The grandfather did not reply and gently patted the girl's head. In fact, as it turns out, Pop was the grandfather who was telling the story all along.